Success is a journey through life, and as work can become complicated or awkward, colour biopsychology therapy helps you to use your full potential to gain success in your life, not only to aid you to be successful, but to achieve happiness from within yourself. As the Earth moves through the Grand Central Crossing, your consciousness is transforming itself for spiritual fulfillment. Now, more than ever, it is important for humanity to be fully connected to the universe and Mother Earth. By establishing this connection, your consciousness is now being raised by at least 20% as you obtain perfection for yourself. Defining consciousness is primarily made up of these elements: awareness, apprehension, knowledge, recognition and sensibility. Your subconscious works at 20 milliseconds and your conscious mind at 40 milliseconds. Within this relationship, your subconscious is the key driver for your personality. As you remove unresolved issues, your own consciousness starts to appreciate your ability to enter your own state of consciousness at another level. It greatly exceeds your capacity beyond yourself to gain inner happiness. It also allows you to utilize your ability to your full potential and use those special gifts you receive through the heavenly star. It expands your capacity to utilize spiritual resources to aid you in solving problems. More importantly, engaging your ability to manage your full potential within your behavior to problems and others. Each chakra point also defines the way your consciousness works through their separate vibrations. Each chakra point will respond to color, scalar energy, light and sound as you release old identities of yourself and old past experiences. Scalar energy is created when two electromagnetic waves come together from converging angles. Scalar wave is therefore made up of a pair of identical waves. These are called the wave and its anti-wave. These waves can be seen in phase spatially and out of phase temporarily. Both waves are identical physically and 180 degrees out of phase in time. It is this energy that we use within the colour biopsychology therapy to remove and resolve problems within a person. Scalar energy before its transition will look similar to the effects shown in each image. Scalar waves can be called information fields. Colour biopsychology therapy resulted from two great interests in Patrick's life and are the main principles of the Life Shields company. Compassion for all who suffer, whether human being, bird or beast, and love for nature, for her trees, plants and rocks. These combinations led him to the knowledge of healing that he sought. Each interest helped the other, for he found in nature's storehouse the right combinations of healing energies to overcome personal problems and unhappiness in a person's life. Through these observations, he found that the same treatment would always work on the same personality in people affected by a similar complaint. They will generally react in much the same way. Treating people who reacted in a different manner with the same remedy would have little effect. In his early research, he gained knowledge that the personality of each individual was of even more importance than the body in the treatment of a person's problems. What is colour biopsychology therapy? It is a broad definition of the study of biology concerning behaviour. It focuses on the neural emissions of behaviour that emphasise the evolution of specific problems through genetic and harmonisation of behavioural processes assessed through the science of colour. It is a focus on the scientific method. Colour biopsychology emphasises the importance about the scientific method. The scientific method is a means of answering questions that are applicable to life in general. Accepted scientific theories are at best estimates, not always statements of fact. We therefore strive to make statements of fact in our quest for perfection for our clients. The elements involved in colour biopsychology therapy are ancestral, which concerns the client over emotional traumas, resolved experiences, bad omens and other people. The second link is a person's pre-birth, where traumas in the womb, parents and others influences the child greatly by changing their cell vitality potential. Thirdly, after birth, their lifeline is influenced by life traumas, unresolved experiences and the negative effects from other people. What is colour? Whether we are aware of it or not, colours are forces, radiant energies that affect a person positively or negatively. The psychologist is interested in problems of influence, colour, vibrations and sound that may or may not interfere with our mind and spirit. Using the subjective perception and discrimination of colours, it highlights important psychological problems, making them expressive through each image of colour and its visual effects, which aids a diagnosis for the persons concerned. The purpose of using colour within biopsychology therapy is to diagnose where unresolved experiences reside in a person's life. These colours are produced by refraction. We divide the spectrum into two parts, for example red, orange and yellow, as well as green, blue and violet, by collecting each of these two groups with a converging lens. The result will be mixed colours, whose mixture with each other yields white. Each spectral hue is the complement of the mixture of all the other spectral hues shown. Bringing it all together, the main purpose of this slide is to show you the different effects that cause trauma in your life. This leads to low cell vitality and needs additional support through nutrition, light and other health benefits. What are the human elements involved in colour biopsychology therapy? We have to take into account some 10 elements. The first set is to do with our universal connection with the Earth's field. It is where you come from. The second set of elements supports spiritual understanding, mind balance with emotional stability, coupling with physical maintenance. This makes up your spirituality. Our third set of elements deals with the effect on our lives. Its breakdown starts with past traumas, associated coping strategy, unknown traumas and transition problems. It is these factors that interfere with your personal happiness today. This slide shows how vitality is affected by cell phone radiation. You can see the negative effects on this person's vitality by unprotected mobile phone radiation, causing a lowering of cell vitality, and this is demonstrated in the photograph by the dark red areas around the person. After an anti-radiation device was fitted to this lady's cell phone, it shows how the first transition phase of cellular vitality begins its recovery. Note particularly the areas of white and the colouring that is involved as her vitality becomes stronger. The second phase of this latest transition is now showing an acute strengthening of cell vitality on its recovery path. The completion of this woman's vitality transition is now obvious as the cellular vitality recovery reaches its conclusion. You can note the polarity energy line rising from the crown chakra. It is this line that provides the self-healing process for successful removal of problems when using colour biopsychology therapy. Colour therapy enables a person's mind to establish a position of equilibrium with its polarity. This allows both parts of the mind to discuss their respective work. This allows problems to be resolved without undue hindrance, pain or shock. We do not solve the problem for the client. The problem is resolved by the person's self-healing process once equilibrium and polarity are achieved. First phase is shown as a cloud of energy. This is how it is before a transition takes place. Before scalar energy can be absorbed by the body, it will take the form of transportation carriage as shown in the second phase and is carried on scalar energy timelines. The third phase of scalar energy absorption into the human order field. You can see again the scalar carriages on their timeline. Before scalar energy can be absorbed into the human field, it moves through the curbing of space-time as it aligns itself ready for the absorption into the human aura. Transition is required to change action in time from the future into present day and then to transport the time into the past. To make a full transition work, it requires universal connection as well as the earthly connection. To change an unresolved experience or a coping strategy, it requires emotional balance between your future strategy and past experiences. This action creates the necessary polarity connection between emotions and the mind for problems to be resolved. The same action is required when dealing with pre-birth experiences. Colour chart 1 shows the 6 colours required to diagnose unresolved experiences and associated coping strategies. Depending on which colour or colours are chosen, determines how your problems have evolved. Colour chart 2 determines the effects of ancestral links through transcription within the genes of a client. Colour chart 3 provides the therapist the opportunity to determine at what stage within the pregnancy the baby is unduly influenced by mother and father's experiences. Colour chart 4 gives you the opportunity to trace a person's life experiences that affect their happiness and potential achievements in life. Colour biopsychology therapy uses a psychosocial stages chart to determine each event that is affecting a person through their life. It is essentially giving the therapist a plus and a minus on each part of their lives, from feeding at birth, school, social relationships, through to work and parenthood. Where you get multiple transitions involved, it requires this chart. Colour biopsychology therapy has introduced this chart simply to organise each conflict that surrounds a person into tracks and colour code them ready for removal. It looks at old behaviour, an inactive phase within each conflict, and it now creates an active phase before the person reaches their self-healing crisis, which has phase A and phase B. Once these phases are activated, the new behaviour phase begins to release the person from the effects of low vitality. Each person's equilibrium is a result of balance between their future, present and past. Without this equilibrium, a person finds it difficult to deal with emotions and the mental state it causes. The coloured light will create this balance between future, present and past. At this point, polarity begins and the equilibrium phase ends. Each person, on reaching this state of equilibrium, now finds it easier to create transitions for the removal of problems and cell vitality recovery. Actions required when resolving a problem. Resolving a problem requires balance between equilibrium of unresolved experiences and equilibrium of a person's coping strategies to bring each one to a polarity stage where emotions can engage with conscious and subconscious talk to resolve problems. The light does this for you to release your unresolved experiences. It will create an equilibrium between your future, past and present and maintain polarity between your emotions and mental balance. It will maintain a high degree of cellular vitality to aid you in resolving problems. Once this has been achieved, the scalar action of the coloured light will return to its normal state within itself and its scalar energy patterns. Colour biopsychology therapy and its coloured light will maintain your equilibrium while you allow your mind to discuss the problem that has arisen between your conscious and subconscious mind. Once this discussion has taken place, the problem is resolved. As you achieve the removal of unresolved experiences together with each coping strategy, you return to finding your inner peace and happiness once more.